Is your check engine light on? Well, of course, that means it's time for a maintenance on your car.
Automotive expert Steve Hurley is here with some maintenance tips for your car. And today we are talking about how to maintain your tires and your brakes. Steve, always good to have you here.
Well, thanks.
And
Glad
of course,
to be
we
here.
call this You Auto Know, and we ought to know a lot here, and you're the man to tell us. Let's first talk about some of the the real problem cases that come in when people bring their cars into trade-in. So you really see how people have not maintained their cars when they come in with a trade-in.
That's correct.
What kinds of things alarm you?
We obviously walk around the car and look at the condition of the vehicle, but we do things like we drive the vehicle, we check the way it feels, and if we hear noises, particularly brake noises, that kind of thing, because that's a major wear item and a critical safety item, then we have to take a look at that and make sure that
But most people haven't taken care of their car the way they should. Is that what you find?
Not always, but oftentimes they wait a little bit later than what we would recommend.
Well, let's talk about the lifespan of brakes.
Okay.
When do they start to go, on average? How much miles do you have to put on a car?
Such a great question, because it really depends on the type of driving you do and the individual driver. A lot of people like to wait to the last minute and they hit the brakes really hard. That's not good on brakes for a lot of reasons. It creates a lot of heat. It's a lot tougher, a lot more wear on the brake rotors and brake pads.
So brakes last, really, it parallels with how you drive.
Oh, it absolutely does. Some people may go 100,000 miles and not change brakes, but typically I'd say 50, 60,000 miles, but sometimes only 10 or 15.
Let's talk about what's in front of us. This is a brand new brake, right?
It is.
That's from a new car, and this is one that has seen better days.
Yes.
All right, so tell us the problems that you find with the bad brake there.
This is the classic case of what they call metal to metal. And you've heard the term metal to metal. It makes that awful noise, and if you look at the pad, you will see that the pad itself actually is down past the pad material down to the metal. And this metal surface, because it's just like a bicycle, when you go to stop, these pads, they squeeze just like on a bicycle. And when they get to where the pad is gone, you'll hear that.
So that's as a result of somebody braking too hard all the time.
Possibly, or they just went too long and didn't replace them, because they have a wear indicator that is right here on the pad, and that little piece of metal is designed before the pad is gone to start making a high-pitched squeaking to let you know it's time to replace those pads before you have a dangerous situation.
So be aware of the sounds your brakes are making. When they're squeaking, get it in.
Well, can brakes squeak, though, for other reasons?
They can. You can have a new car that can actually have a brake squeak. Oftentimes, that's the movement of the pad in the caliper, which is the hand or the arm that holds the brake pad onto the rotor. And if that pad moves, it can actually cause a squeaking when it's not necessarily a serious problem. That's why they have a backing assembly here, and they'll oftentimes put an anti-squeal material on the back to keep them from squeaking.
You have a handy-dandy gadget that you use that shows the width and lets you know whether or not it's time to change those pads?
We do, and I'll fan it this way. Yeah, this shows a green, yellow, red, good, better, best, and basically referring to a new brake pad is going to have the thickness of the green, as we saw on the new pad there. As they start to wear, it gets thinner. Now, you may still have material and have it to be this thick or even down close to the red, and you think, well, I still got brake pad, it's okay. Well, it's not, because the thinner the pad, the less it can dissipate heat.
How often
and it can crack, and it's going to fade, and you're going to have a lot of braking problems.
We're running out of time, but Steve, I want to get this in. How often should people bring their cars in to have their brakes checked?
I'd say go by your owner's manual. It'll recommend when to have them checked, but I would say at least every other oil change. Have asked the service person that's checking it out.
Brakes. All
Definitely.
Right. Good advice.
All right, Steve Hurley, thank you very much. If you have any automotive questions for Steve, you can email him, steve@youautoknow.com.
And for more information on Stingray Chevrolet, you can go to stingraychevrolet.com or call 813-359-5000. Always a pleasure, Steve. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. Good to
Thank
see you.
All right. We'll be right back.